Welcome all my roll tiders. The new head coach, Kalen DeBoer, just had his first press conference as the head coach at Alabama, and I was very critical. My eyes was locked in, my ears were locked in to everything he said, every bit and piece. I'm a huge press conference guy. I do that for all my favorite teams. I listen to how coaches say certain things, when they say it. If it do I think it's a smoke screen, whatever I think it is, I know because I watch a lot of press conferences. Now this is my first press conference of Kalen, so I really was locked in, and I want to say this, and I mean this. He he knocked it out the park. I think he said everything we wanted to hear. Um, he talked about certain things, and I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all my favorite quote from Kalen. From this past from this Alabama head coach Kalen. The question about fans giving him just 3 games before making adjustments. He said, "I got 3. I get more than 1," and laughed. That's what I want to hear because he know what he getting himself into. That's all I needed to hear from something like that. Was he know how this fan base is? He know how this culture is. He know how these people gonna act when he don't do something the way Nick Saban did it. He said he's not trying to be Nick Saban. There's no Nick Saban. It's not another Bear Bryant. It's not another Nick Saban. Kalen, that's who he trying to be. That's all I needed to hear is that he gonna put his foot down and know for a fact this is he know what he got himself into. Now talking and doing things is totally different. So I'm going by what he said in the press conference today because that's all we got for him from him as far as Alabama coach. Now he has a tough few weeks to a month about this transfer portal. Now he said something else. They asked him about the players. He said, "Give me a chance." Then he asked about recruiting. He said, "Recruiting starts with the players that are in here right now." That's something I wanted to hear. That's something I needed to hear. You got all these players, and I told y'all in the last video when he got hired, that transfer portal is going to be thick. It's going to be full of Alabama players. Some of them going to leave. Some of them might not leave. Some of them might be locked in to what he has to say and what he's going to do. We don't know. But as long as he's making an effort to keep a great percentage of this team, I am okay with it. Every time you look up, there's another Alabama player in the portal, and I tried to warn y'all. The biggest players from our team might hit that portal, and we gotta live with it. Nick Saban retired, the greatest college football coach ever retired. You committed to playing for him, even though he's still going to be around. He's not the head coach, and I saw people say when he had a quote. He said Nick Saban have 100% access to everything, and he'll be a fool not to do that. I see people have mixed reviews on it. I don't think Nick Saban has been a great head coach for so long. He know what it takes. He know the ears and eyes that's gonna be on him if he's walking around and doing it. He's not. I don't think he's gonna do that, man. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna oversee, and whenever Kalen call him, he's going to give him advice. He's not gonna be running around and doing all this and going to tell players this. No, Nick Saban retired. He might still be there in some way, shape, or form, but he's not going to sit there and just take over. He's not going to do that. So yeah, so I think the right things he said. I don't know who he's bringing. We don't know yet, but I do know is one person that he the guy that came. They said that put together the roster for his team. Let's see, trying to make sure what his name is, and he said he worked with multiple quarterbacks. Okay, the GM. Courtney Morgan has the phone numbers of Alabama players and their families. Morgan is already working hard at getting the Crimson Tide players to stay in Tuscaloosa. That is huge. That is huge. That is exactly what you want. So, like I said, my initial reaction is he did everything. He said everything I needed him to say. He acknowledged how great Nick Saban was, which you knew he was going to do. Nick Saban was actually speaking with him through the whole process. He didn't even know what day it was. Kalen didn't even know what day it was. Life come at you fast when you get a call to be Alabama head coach after Nick Saban. Nobody is sitting there thinking Alabama going to call them and Nick Saban retired. Even if you think that you a candidate, you ain't believe. And when that phone call come and we want to interview you for the Alabama head coaching job, life hit you fast as hell. So like I said, I'm glad he said the things he said, because now it's time to get to work. It's time to get to work. He said he gonna bring a little Washington to Alabama, but he know SEC ties and SEC coaches need to be there. So he gonna try to bridge the gap. Now, is that what to what extent will it be SEC and Washington put together? I don't know. What would be the blend, the percentages? I don't know. It is time for him now to show what he made of. They said he couldn't even have a long press conference as far as interviews or at the people asking him questions, because he got to get to work. Them players in the portal right now. He got to go talk to his players. Then he got to find whoever recruiting down here for SEC to keep the players that's there. You got Ryan Williams already in the transfer portal. Isaiah Bond in the transfer portal. Antonio Kite in the transfer portal. I do feel like since we lost Travis to Georgia, that Caleb Downs might be in that transfer portal. So it's time for you to get to work. It is time for you to get to work. So another few things he said. He said he worked with a lot of different quarterbacks. He worked with a lot of different quarterbacks, and that his offense would be quarterback driven. Now, everything I've said about Ty Simpson, Jalen Milroe goes out the door, because you don't know what he's going to do. You don't know what his game plan is. We saw his offense with Michael Penix. They was throwing the ball slap down the field. They were relying a lot on deep balls and all that. I don't know how he's going to work with this. He said he worked with a lot of quarterbacks, so we'll see. It's going to be a battle again. It will be a battle again. I said that with Nick Saban, but I do think this is going to happen right now with Kalen, because he's going to bring his style of offense, though. He's going to bring his style of offense. Another thing, he said he want all the alumni to come back. They need you. So he know what he getting himself into. Like I said, talking and doing is two different things, but going off what he's talking about right now, what he said in his press conference, I am good with where we are heading, but it's time to put the work in. Always know you're going to have a group of Alabama fans. I seen him. He going to be fired in 3 years. He won't be here in 3 years. Or he need to do this. He need to do that. Don't worry about the man. I'm telling you, this fan base is crazy as hell. I'm a fan of the Lakers too, so I know how fan bases get. This is one crazy fan base. It is. So Kalen, you check the first box. What you said in that press conference, everything you said, especially the fact that Nick Saban sitting right there in front of you, I give him an A+ on that. I give him an A+. And how he got emotional with Washington, I give him an A+. And I feel like he really meant that. He really meant that. But when you get a call from Alabama, 9 times out of 10 you need to take it, especially if you're him. He's been building his resume, and you land an Alabama job, you win over here, you good. You see how long Nick Saban had to retire himself. You good. Just win. And I'm giving you time. I'm not going to sit here and say we better win a championship next year. Man, I'm giving you time, man. You got to implement a whole new offense. I'm glad it's happening now, so where we get a whole spring, whole summer to get all this stuff worked out as far as the new kinks and things you go put in there. So y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Roll Tide. Kalen, welcome to Tuscaloosa. And I hope you have a long stay, man.